My name is Cody Kamrowski, and I'm an oil painter. I paint people, places, and things that are near and important to me. And that follows me wherever I go. So if I'm visiting friends or family, I'll probably do a painting in their neck of the woods. I'm really into windows right now. As a technical challenge, it's hard to get the lighting and the setting to feel right in both places simultaneously, in one picture. And from a metaphorical standpoint, I like that you can sort of, as a viewer, exist in two spaces at once, or more than two spaces. You have your space away from the picture. Like my first memory of anything art related was I remember drawing like a bird. I don't know how, like when I was 3 or 4, something like that. And my dad showed everybody at his work. And that I don't think that like external validation had anything with me wanting to do it. That was just part of them. That's just built into the memory. Toys, they didn't meet my specifications, so I just had to do it myself. And that I think I got from my dad. My dad is very much a like do it everything himself type of, maybe to more of an extreme than I would ever hope to be like, but he's like, I want to do everything myself. I get bored. So I paint different things to keep it interesting. People are always interesting because everyone has a unique story. They kind of wear it on their face and their body. Now that I'm doing bigger paintings, spaces are interesting. The idea of making places feel real but not hyper real. I never thought I would like still life, but when I encountered there's a YouTube channel called Our Painted Lives. He would just find an excuse to paint anything around him. This was like the height of COVID. I was teaching online classes mostly in drawing, right? Like I had very little painting experience. I mean, I painted a little bit in college and a little bit in high school, but Nicolas would take photos of Danny or his kids or various still life arrangements in his house, like simple things, like a brush or, things that typically you wouldn't think of like, oh, this deserves to be painted. And I felt the urge to do the same sort of thing in my life. The things that I surround myself with are worthy of being painted too. Like a roll of tape, dirty dishes in a sink, pile of laundry, and these paintings were very drawing heavy. I was still trying to figure out what kind of surfaces I liked, what kind of color palette I wanted. Especially now, I think like when we're inundated with so many images of things, I think a lot of people, and sometimes I get into a mood where I just want to be told what's happening or shown exactly what's happening, and I don't have to use my brain. But I think my favorite media, whether it's paintings, music, movies, whatever, they sort of ask you to engage more deeply with the thing. And that includes like using your brain, like filling in the blanks. So everything that's in the picture is cool, but then there's a space outside of the picture too. Antonio Lopez Garcia, he's still living. Hopefully he still lives for like another, hopefully lives to be over 100. That'd be cool. I'd like to meet him. Where he paints Madrid, paint a dirty bathroom. He'll paint dead trees, his backyard, his kids, his wife. But it doesn't, it feels, the way he paints is so genuine. And it's not, I think he gets critiqued for being hyper realistic. But to me, when I see his work, it's so abstract. Adolf Menzel is a German painter. Same deal. Dude was always drawing, always painting. And very honest depictions of people and places around him. Andrew Wyeth, same deal. Subtle color, amazing. Also, again, very abstract, his compositions. He gets accused of being hyper realistic also, but if you just like if you don't name the things in his paintings, like, oh dog, oh house, oh hill, oh tree. If you just don't think about names and you just think about shapes, wonderful abstract composition. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. I try to have like five going, juggling five. So, give or take one or two. So, um, and the reason is, again, I get bored, and then I might go to another one, and I'm like, okay, or I'll run into a wall on one painting, and I don't know what to do with it. I know that it's not done, but I don't quite have the solution figured out, and so I just need to let it sit, and then I'll work on something else. And then sometimes, as much as I want uh, to work on like a big project, for instance, like the one I'm working on at UNM. Like that's the biggest painting I've ever done, and it's pretty long and drawn out. I also, there's still part of me that just wakes up one morning and I'm like, I kind of wanted to do a quick one today. And, a lot of my ideas, how I generate my ideas, is I'll have like a document with, it's no drawings, just words, just kind of describing a feeling or describing a scene. Or maybe I'll have like a title. And it's just a way for me to like generate an image in my head that isn't like mapped on to something. If I sketched something, then I feel married to a composition. And I don't want to be married to a composition. I just want to be thinking about the idea. In the beginning, I wanted to do quick. That's all I wanted to do is make pictures really fast. And only through time have I learned to appreciate like the slowness and the buildup of a larger picture, 24 by 30 plus. I can finish something like that in a few days, quote unquote. But I like to come back and revisit things because the time and space in between that naturally comes with painting with oils that I mentioned earlier, not looking at a piece for a week and then coming back to it, I notice things that I didn't notice when I was in the thick of it. Style is something that you can't really hone. Style is just what you have. It's like you can't laugh differently, you just kind of have a laugh. It's born out of the things that I can't do. So I remember when I was first learning, I really wanted to be able to paint things super mega realistically. And I also wanted to do like comic style art. And I also wanted to do Cicely Brown style abstraction. There are people who do their thing so well that you can't help but want to do that just like them. But then over time, I realized like, oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't do that. I can't do that. A lot of people say like you find your style or whatever. It just kind of happened, and I just had to accept it. I didn't have to find it. I just had to accept it. Like when we're talking about Picasso, like no matter how many different genres of art he worked into, there was this thread that always belonged to him. I paint on different surfaces all the time. I shift between canvas, paper, and panel. I like different absorbencies, different textures. I don't like to get complacent with my technique. Plus, certain surfaces lend themselves to uh, different time frames. So like if I want to do something quick, but I want to have the depth of like layering, then paper is what I'll go. I can take paper with me. It's a little bit easier than, preparing a panel. Bottom line is I like when the surface kind of fights me a little bit. You look at a painting and you can tell pretty quickly whether it's worth like the time investment and looking. So I'm not going to stop you if you feel like, oh, I don't really care to look at that one for very long. But just be aware that every painting of mine, there's like layers of things to be looked at. It's common for artists to not know when a piece is finished. And maybe I just got lucky. I know when a painting is done. If the composition feels right, I don't need to move something around. I don't need to change a color relationship. I don't need to add something or take something out. Then it's finished. If I know in my heart that it's done, I will not revisit a painting. And finished doesn't mean that I'm getting every single minute detail. I don't really like doing detail for detail's sake. I like everything in my compositions to have purpose. I'll leave moments scrappy if it benefits the painting by virtue of being a complement to the things that are more refined.